tough one tonight. Did you feel like you were getting enough energy from the guys throughout the night? Was that an issue at all?
I thought we played really well for about the first 15, 16 minutes of the game. I was sitting there at 25-25. Reminded me of the Arizona game. And then there was turnover, missed shot, bad shot, turnover, and it was a 13-0 run. Even with taking timeouts, it was a 13-0 run on their part to close out the half. And there was the game right there again where it got away from you. So the energy was great, the game plan was great. We just buckled a little bit again in that first half and we never got back. I thought there was a group on the floor with Cooper out there, Daniels was on the floor, Arinze Cheatham, Quentin Henson, Stevie Sprayrigan. That group battled their tail off, and they cut that lead to 14, and I think we counted 7 missed shots, 4 of them wide open threes that would have made a big difference in that game. I'd like to put a little bit more pressure on them, and to their credit, they withstood our run coming back in it, and then they did a good job of closing out the game. But I was proud of that group that was on the floor that doesn't get a lot of chance to play, and they're going to play a lot more because they battled hard.
Obviously, depth is kind of an issue. Carter went out with an injury. Milan's been a little banged up. I mean, how do you see yourself going forward in Sunday?
I think our depth is good. I mean, like I said, when Cooper and Henser and Sprayrigan and Renzi, those guys are all bench players. They played well in the game. They battled hard. They got us back into the game and had a chance to cut it under 10 if they make a couple of those wide open shots. So I don't know the severity of Carter's ankle yet. We'll see what that looks like. But we were making a run even with him at one point in time. So we just got to go back to the drawing board and shuffle that lineup a little bit.
Malachi and Robo kind of set the last 10 minutes. Was that just partly a combination of that group fighting so hard and maybe saving some minutes for them on Sunday?
I think it's about the other group fighting hard. I felt like they played themselves into a situation where they could have got back in the game, and they battled and didn't need to put them back in the game because that group was playing extremely well. And like I said, they were in a position to cut that thing to under 10. Maybe then you make some substitution and do that. But I was proud of that group on the floor, how hard they battled.
First half, Robo against Arizona State was able to make his presence known in the paint and as much of the same tonight. Have you seen a difference in him getting the ball and scoring inside the painted area?
You know, I thought he played a stronger game inside than I've seen him play all year long. Against some pretty beefy guys in there, he did a pretty good job of taking the ball to the rim, and that usually he's such a perimeter threat, and I was proud of him for being able to do that.
Could you just talk about Franks' season so far? He looked really dynamic early too. First 8 points for the team.
You know, he's come a long way, and to his credit, he has no quit in him. He continues to battle back. He played well in this game. We got into the hole. He was balanced. Sometimes I play him too much and he wears down a little bit. But to his credit, he's having a wonderful season. For a guy that not a lot of people came after him out of high school, he's another one of those players that got into our program and developed. He worked extremely hard on his body, that system style of play. He's got his confidence. You can see his game just blossoming right now. And a lot of time I hear people, when we signed them, said we didn't have a great recruiting class. Now all of a sudden they say you got a lot of talent. Well, somewhere in there, these kids are getting coached and getting developed. So hats off to my strength coach, hats off to Robo, how hard he's worked to get himself there.
You know, he's performing like this too, and a lot of defenses are geared to limit him, aren't they?
I don't know about geared to limit him, but they certainly know who he is. And they're running Carter off the line as the guy they really sit on, but Robo too. He's not getting a lot of double teams or anything, but people know who he is. He's at the top of the scouting report, and he's still playing extremely well.
And then you mentioned Stevie's game. He had an impressive game late, was initiating offense, hit a couple open shots. He's where he needs to be defensively. What did you see from Stevie? Was this his best game ever tonight?
It is since I've been here, and I see a guy that needs to play more.
Thanks, Coach.